Heard about the 10S Executive Mastermind through Kelly Price. She's been a longtime friend of mine and a business partner, and she gave me a heads up that it was coming, and I think I was one of the first couple people to sign up for it. Well, the title for me, being in business 27 years, was financial, and my first thought and expectation is 10x financially. And what happened is what you learn and I wrote down this quote early on that I always that which you need the most is the least likely place you look. And with the 10x group, it wasn't so much the financial goals become part of it if that's your thing, but it's more about finding personally what you need to achieve or what you want. And I learned this too, is that goals are wants, and you have to truly find what you want, and then find a way to get there. So it was completely not expected, some of the second order effects of what the 10X group became for me than what I originally thought it would be. I thought by signing up for a class is you learn how to do something, like a blueprint or like an instruction manual. But what I didn't realize is that you could find things that you didn't know you were looking for. So it was, and I know we throw the word life-changing around pretty loosely these days, but for the right people, it can be that. The biggest takeaway that's in the front of my mind is the accountability partner aspect to it. Is some people that join the group may or may not be called there because they need to be called there. They may be called to that group to help someone else, and you won't know this unless you join. And it's just something about being in an environment where normally some things could be what you would describe as embarrassing or humiliating. Kelly finds a way to make the group to where those type of things don't seem embarrassing or they don't seem humiliating, and you can work through them. And it's like Carl Jung said, in the filth it will be found. So it is, for me, it was about personal growth and the type of things that I needed to do before to enable the financial growth to 10x, which is what I originally thought it was going to be about. So it comes around full circle if you stick with it. I've said this several times. The chapter, well, I don't want to give away the class, but the chapter in the book on the gap and the gain, and hundreds of books I've read in my adult life, was the most important chapter I think I've read. And there's a lot of chapters. But just understanding the concept of the gap and the gain and working your way back from there was huge for me. If somebody asked me about the 10X Mastermind, it'd be a full recommend, and I'm not just saying that because I support Kelly, is for the right person, this could be life-changing. And it'll be a group of people from all walks of life, and sometimes these years or decades can get away from you, and you kind of stay in your lane for a very long time, and you don't get a lot of exposure to different types of people or different people from different areas of the world. And just being able to hear and listen, and you get ideas when you hear people talk about their success or their troubles, and so it's beneficial. And for the amount of time that it requires to do it, it's almost laughable. For what you get for the small amount of time you invest in something like this versus what you get out of it in a month, 6 weeks, it's a good deal, no question. I'd full recommend it. Well, in the world we live in, it's everybody's gut reaction to place blame or to be negative, and it's always somebody else's fault or they're a victim. And we live in a world now where victimdom and victimhood is common. And these type of things, when people learn that everything in your life you're 100% responsible for, and to take accountability and be able to grow within yourself, it would change the world. There's no question, particularly in these times, with what's going on now. I wrote this down during the class and I read this, and I think it was in the book, between stimulus and response is a space. And sometimes how I would respond to things, and this goes back to the gap in the game, was learning how to live in that space. And, they call that the present moment. But, I probably read 10 books on try to describe that. And it wasn't until, during this class when I was involved with other people and working through things slowly and daily, that I really got that part of it. So that was a big thing too. And I looked back at my notes from the class, and that was one of the things I'd circled, is between stimulus and response is a space, and how I react to things in life, based on the wants, and not just going off of the script and the goals, and not making everything 100% financial all the time. It's been good. It's been a huge change for me.